after the closing of the steel mill, Joliet still seemed like a powerful place of industry. And with World War II and the subsequent 1950s boom, Joliet seemed destined to survive without the mill that made it. And then everybody has shown this already, but it's outwitting the still of the factory still activated. And but like the steel mill stuff and the steel it made, Joliet 2 began to rust to show that, and then it fade into. Maybe we can get a black and white image of that so it looks.
Yeah, I've done that with a couple things. Take
Yeah.
the color out because it looks
To make
more
it look like
evocative.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, businesses and jobs began to leave Joliet as newer methods of wealth became available. As jobs became more and more scarce, people became more and more desperate, and I have a couple of clips.
Offshoring, if you will, and that's basically just manufacturing firms taking jobs elsewhere, out of the country, and that impacted Joliet because we had a lot of
So stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ended up actually moving the business as well out of Joliet. We were downtown for all of those years, and in 1980, surprisingly, when things were going south in the downtown area, we moved out to Plainfield and moved to a
Just other, especially if we combine it with Ashley talking about the local businesses and then
Yeah.
John Patel talking about it, and then have him talk about that later.
Yeah.
in the 80s, the city of Joliet had one of the highest unemployment rates in the
And
country.
after we
I
say
think
that,
it was
we
above
move into the
20%.
next slide. Off of this.
So we can imagine the
As city planners felt feeling downturn starting to fade into obscurity. The city planners feeling the downtown starting to fade to obscurity attempted to revitalize the area like areas like Chicago Street. They failed, and then
Sad.
it's about the
Okay.
that's the one where he talks about how they tried to
They
build all the
Made it a
parking
walking mall,
Yeah.
and it was a stupid idea.
With the unemployment reaching a high of over 20% in the 1980s, it seems like nothing could get worse could not get worse for the city. And then there is the you had the YouTube clip of them talking about
The tornado.
talking about Plainfield.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
Battery poor and struggling. Joliet turns to the 1990s with its future in question, and then have that image because it's
Okay.
very tough.
It's good. I like it.
After the tornado, and then this goes into Act 3. After the tornado, it seemed Joliet was beaten, but a man who had given 50 years of his life to the city had something else to say about it. And I couldn't remember. I couldn't find it, but I remember listening to Nancy talk about. My dad gave 50 years to this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's the
Okay.
first interview.
Yeah, the
Because he was
first
a
clip.
police officer.
Okay.
Arthur Schultz, a former policeman and city councilman, a
It's a
local
cute little
man
gnome.
with local charm, handily won the 1991 election.
Is he still alive?
Oh, no, he died,
4 years ago?
he died actually right after he left office for the last time.
Because he had nothing else to live
Oh,
for.
I know.
He's a very, the most maybe
We have to cry during this documentary at least 3
I always
times.
said that my dad was liked by all walks of life. He could talk to a homeless person and he could talk to the President of the United States. So I think he had a gift, about him that it just, he was lucky he had that, so.
Something that you can figure.
And then I talk too much.
What?
Please,
Yeah, I
do
talk
Schultz,
some more
I
hair.
just talk so much.
please give us something that we can use. You rambling old white lady.
Where did she fly?
She was cute, but it was very hard to pull out clips.
Schultz immediately set out to change the city. His solution was both gambling.
plan of the intermodal, I don't think was the pivotal point in turning the city around. It was the riverboats. Because Joliet was the first to get its request in for a license.
Another one that it has a.
Don't tell Mike, but I really like Chuck Black. I'm watching an interview.
the beginning of the revitalization for the town. They provided a revenue source that supported new roads, new infrastructure that the city was able to undertake.
A huge income. the huge income from the casinos revitalized Joliet, pushed it westward.
To the point that the joke was the eastern boundary of Joliet is New Lenox, the western boundary is the state of Iowa, because we just started
That's a
going
good
west.
clip.
Baseball field minor league team are created and thrived in the city's with the city's new economic games, Jackhammer and then Silver Cross Field.
Do you guys know if there's any, I bet you there's a YouTube clip we can borrow / steal that
Oh, I have
shows
a-
the inside,
you know how we
like,
wanted-
people at the.
Casino? I got one of
No,
those.
well,
I got one of
it's-
people at a
do you?
casino. I do.
But what about like
My-
people at the
My buddy
stadium?
Indara is working on the new, like their new intro video,
Okay.
so I can get you some of that.
See if you can get, we just need a quick clip when we talk about it. It'd be nice, instead of just a still, we have so many still pictures, it'd be nice to get some video.
Okay.
So that would be great, thanks Bobby.
Joliet pulled itself from the brink of ruin and found itself a thriving city with plenty of untapped potential.
But people are here for you, good times and bad. I mean,
And then, like,
and
this
once,
is my last
even
one,
if you
so
weren't
like,
born here,
have it
people
start
make
with
you
this.
feel welcome.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a great place to live, I say, and I always encourage people to move in this area because, you know, with
She says something else at the end too.
She's not
like, but I'm just kidding.
She's married. Where do you think our boots came from?
Oh, yeah, that's
You
true.
guys.
You were beautiful, you're not just born with boots.
It's a good Dutch name.
Her hair's not cute.
so, our hearts here, I guess that's.
And what's up?
I like that, it's good.
Our heart's here. I guess.
Our heart's here, yeah, yeah.
The end. Flash the credits. The end. Flash the credits.
And that's what I got.
All right, good job.
Very satisfying.
All right. Time for the abridged version.
So, let's see, what else, how about in the Speedway? Do we have any video from, I bet I can find something from the Joliet Speedway online. Some
I
sort
would
of
go
video.
back to Route 66 and the Speedway because
Because it's the Route 66.
also it's like. really
No,
popular.
but it helped that I'm Tommy Day. I was the head of security at the
I'm
time.
talking to you.
Who still needs to go? Ulysses, you do?
No.
No, you don't. Brandon, Nick Larkin, are you going?
No.
Okay, Mary?
Yeah.
You are, Jordan?
Yeah, very last.
Very loud. Jessica, where do you want? Okay, so I think we can get everybody done.
I'm good. Yeah.
No, we can.
We can do it.
No, we can't.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yeah, my nigga Brandon.
The gamble, oh! I like this.
All right. Clips. Oh, those are like clips of the footage you got downtown. Some
Which
footage-
ones?
Like Chicago Street and the courthouse. I
Okay.
just thought they looked nice.
Yeah.
So Joliet had dragged on through the past decades in the 70s, 80s, struggling along. Economic strife had been what Joliet had known, but in the 1990s, the city began to see something of a rebound. But what had caused this rebound, what had helped Joliet to crawl out of the pits of recession and get back onto its feet?
That's where we'll have Ashley.
Oh, there's some more footage.
Yeah, that, our bustling downtown.
Used to.
Yeah, and then the river, because you know, shots.
Because it's Joliet.
Moving onward. Chuck clip with him talking about casinos, everyone's used it already. So Joliet leadership had decided that the city needed to be turned around and turned toward the best bet, pun totally intended, they could find, gambling. Here's my casino surveillance footage I found. There's like butt tons of like, you know.
No, seriously, I'm gonna use this.
So this is like this isn't our casinos, but I'm pulling a Ken Burns here and just kind of
Yeah.
stealing shit that I can.
I think we should.
The guy battered.
We could borrow something from Ocean's 11 too, and then have
Yeah, see, like, you got, like,
copy.
all kinds of stuff.
Alright, then you have to make the whole movie funny then.
So fun stuff like that. Who's this? I just got. It's more Chuck. More Chuck.
Wait, which one?
It's just him talking about casinos and money making money on the boats. Joliet had something to offer that many cities didn't have through gambling. People no longer had to travel to Vegas, but they could come to Joliet, especially if they were from the Midwest. Chuck mentions that too. Gambling helped bring Joliet back onto its feet, bringing in much needed money. I also tried to talk about the Center for Economic Development, but I kind of like hit a wall there last night. It was like, 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like,
It's hard to find one good clip from grueling, but we'll work on it, because I want a good clip from everybody.
Transportation baby.
Can you like never make
Our
that face
blooper
again,
reel should be
please?
us just impersonating the people we interviewed, and I want to be Mike Speller.
Okay,
but,
everybody wants to be
but the
Mike
most
Sullivan.
important part